So I get the question a lot about how an attorney can represent somebody in good conscience who he knows to be guilty. Um, and it's an interesting question. Before I became an attorney, I asked the same question. I thought, how can anybody sleep at night and represent someone who they know is guilty? Here's the answer. Throughout hundreds of years, thousands of years of history, there have been various court systems where that aren't very fair and aren't very good to the person that's accused. They don't have the right to confront witnesses against them. They don't have the right to an attorney. They don't have the right to call witnesses on their own behalf, and so on. The American justice system is considered pretty much of a miracle and the best legal system ever devised. The reason is this. It's set up like a tug of war. The prosecution on one side of the rope pulling as hard as he can, and the defense attorney on the other side of the rope pulling as hard as he can. And in the middle sits the judge making sure that both sides abide by the rules. And next to him sits the jury deciding who wins. And so each participant in the trial has a role. The prosecution has to pull as hard as they can. The defense have to pull as hard as they can. The judge has to make sure that they follow the rules, and the jury has to decide who wins. So if the defense attorney is representing somebody and he says to himself, well, you know, I personally think that guy is guilty, so I'm not going to pull that hard on my side of the rope. That perverts the system, that ruins the tug of war. Or if the prosecution decides, you know, the defendant is a pretty nice guy and I don't really think he should go to jail even though he probably did it. And the prosecutor stops pulling as hard as he can on his side of the rope. That perverts the system as well. Or let's say the jury decides that they're going to toss a coin instead of letting the winner be decided by who pulls better on the rope, or the judge decides to pervert the rules. Anyone who doesn't do their role in the system perverts the system. So if an attorney is representing a defendant who he personally believes is guilty, it doesn't make any difference. He has to pull as hard as he can on his side of the rope to defend that person and let the jury decide who is guilty and who is not guilty, which is the jury's role. It's not the defense attorney's role. And so defense attorneys can indeed sleep well at night representing somebody that they personally may consider to be guilty. It's not their job to decide who's guilty. It's the jury's job.